The Iditarod Trail 2020 is absolutely the hardest expedition I've done in my life. If we'd gone in knowing the conditions would be this way and that it would be that hard, I'm not sure we would have signed up for it. I've realized since riding the Ho Chi Minh Trail, Blood Road, more than 5 years ago, that I hadn't done anything that really challenged my entire being. And before that, another 5 years was riverboarding the Grand Canyon. I've been an athlete for many decades, chasing trophies, chasing goals, and I'm really proud of my world championships, but really those were a springboard for me. All along, I've thought I was training for races and events, but now I realize that these events and trails are actually training me. I'm at Revel 8 and they're helping me just really fine-tune where everything goes. Everything has to have a place. So this is basically technology pocket, clothes pocket, and then we'll build all the things around the house on wheels. Okay.
That might work just fine.
Yeah.
Let me finish making this strap.
This is the kind of stuff that makes all the difference. I think last year was, I don't know, 65 pounds. It was too much. The bike's 25 pounds.
Oh, just keep it in there.
20-something pounds, and then put all this on it. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to know. The Iditarod Trail is a historic winter route best known for the role that it played during the diphtheria epidemic in 1925. It took 20 mushers and more than 100 dogs to relay the serum that they needed, 674 miles from Anchorage to Nome, Alaska. Today, the trail remains intact and is best known for sled dog racing and human-powered racing on bikes, snowshoes, and skis. The Iditarod Trail Invitational is a very remote race across the Alaskan wilderness in the middle of winter on the historic Iditarod Trail. It's been described as one of the most difficult races in the world, and I'm doing the 350-mile version. 2019, my rookie year, I survived because Mother Nature was kind. It was a good year. And the bike's really heavy. But I was a mess. I didn't eat right, I didn't have the right equipment, and I survived out of grit. In 2020, I stood on the start line feeling prepared and confident. My husband was there. You know, I had a lot of friends that I'd met on the trail last year, so I didn't feel alone.
Any expectations for this year?
Yeah, Janice has done this a lot of times. This is only my second time, and yeah, same goal as you, to finish safely, happy. Yeah, that's the goal. Yeah.
Hey.
Have a good ride.
Thank you too.
I came into this race really prepared and feeling like I could win it. I won it last year when I wasn't prepared, and I had that mindset that I would be near the top part of the field. It's the first few minutes of the race. There's a big snowstorm coming tonight. Fresh snow, but so far this is rideable, which is kind of awesome. It's 2 o'clock, sun will go down really soon, and we're in for a long cold night for first bit. Okay, I am really bummed. 30 minutes into the race, made an error and I'm off track. Now it's snowing heavily, there's no track in here, and I just met a snowmobiler who said I'm gonna be walking for 20 miles. Minutes after the race started, I was out of contention, and that seems impossible when you think about a 300-mile race that takes 7 days, and half an hour in, I went straight and I should have taken a left. There's been so much snow. A few people made this wrong decision, but there is basically no track. So I am walking and really just following a line and the few riders in front of me. And I didn't think I was gonna have this kind of survival and adventure this early on. I mean, the navigation, it's just super tricky and there's no path. So I'm gonna be walking for all night. Whew.
Hey guys.
Hi.
How long will it take you to get there?
I don't know. Well, it's a lot longer than I thought.
You just started.
Yeah, just the conditions are kind of rough.
Yeah, it's not good conditions for the bikes.
Yeah, definitely not. That looks like good conditions.
Oh, it's slow for us too.
Yeah, right on.
Yep,
Have a great run.
You too. Have a good trip.
Thank you.
All right.
You know, I'm feeling really alone out here, and then that just made me feel not so alone, which is great. I really, though, kind of wish I could jump on their sled with them. It's gonna be a long night, and we just started. Okay, keep going. Okay, night number 1. I'm hours behind the group because I took a wrong turn, and I know people are watching the tracking and people are worried about me, and I'm kind of out here. The rest of the race is way in front of me. I'm okay. I'm confident, and I'm just really bummed because I want to be up with everybody else, and I feel a little lonely here, but you know, people are worried, but I'm all right. I'm eating, I'm drinking, I'm taking care of myself, and I'm just walking. Having the sun go down and the snow start coming down, that was a real eye-opener of like, okay, where you place in this race doesn't really matter. What matters now is that you get through the night and you survive and you rejoin the course. The incredible gift that happened from me making that first navigational error is that it put me behind the entire field, and then when I caught back up and joined everybody again, I ended up finding my husband and teaming up with him for the remaining, 6 days of the race. Nice to see you. Get those things to dry a little more.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
I was so excited to meet up with Greg, but at this moment I knew I had to stay focused. This ride really was just getting started, and the toughest parts of the trail were still ahead with storms, snow, high winds, and minus 40-degree temperatures.
Hi guys.
It's super common to have minus 10, minus 20, minus 30, minus 40 degree temperatures, and from about 0 to minus 10, it feels cold, and everyone knows what that feeling feels like. To me, when it gets minus 20 and below, to me it feels like pain, not like cold. It's actually a different sensation. If you take your glove off and expose your hand, it doesn't feel cold, it just instantly hurts. It's almost like if you stuck your hand in a beehive and just were instantly being stung. That's what the cold feels like to me when your skin is exposed to it. Greg was really struggling going into Rainy Pass Lodge, and he had said he was going to be done there, and that's about the halfway point. I was really sad because I wasn't going to quit, but I also didn't want to go on alone. I just said to him, there's nothing that I would want more than to cross the finish line with you, but if you need to stop, I understand. people on foot are beating the people on bike. That's how you know it's slow. We agreed to sleep at Rainy Pass Lodge and get a really good meal, and then during that meal he said, you know, he was going to go on. And I just felt this sense of relief and just knew that we were bonded for the rest of the trail. Having a teammate was actually a real bonus for me to share some of the weight, the emotional weight of moving through terrain in those kind of conditions. The cold really came into effect for us kind of the second half of the race. From Rainy Pass Lodge to Roan, you're crossing the Alaskan range, and it's the high point of the race. You've got a big 13-mile ascent up to a very high summit pass, and I think it was like minus 40 with up to 50-mile-an-hour gusts of wind in very open terrain. It was truly apparent the consequences of our actions and that there was no room for error. That was one of the most intense experiences I've had in my life. This has been a relationship builder for us. We've never done anything like this together this long. I mean, we've done a lot of cool things together in bike races, but nothing this sort of survival and expedition like. And I'm really glad he's with me. He's an essential piece of equipment this year and an essential part of the toolkit for being able to get this done.
A little breezy.
Holy cow.
Like empires, we rise and then we fall.
We were on the trail away from any communication. We had no idea what was happening in the outside world. We came out from doing what was the hardest expedition of my entire life and something that was physically, emotionally, personally challenged me more than anything I've ever done. But to come out into the world with, you know, a global pandemic, something none of us have faced in our life, that instantly made the Iditarod Trail suffering and difficulty seem minimized in a way. The Iditarod Trail has taught me some amazing lessons that I couldn't have learned anywhere else. From the trail, I know that isolation and solitude are a gift and necessary for all of us to allow space, to remove distraction, allow us to think, meditate, focus, and really listen to our own bodies and minds. I went into this year's race really focused and had the goal of competing and doing really well, but what I'd come in to achieve wasn't going to happen. Really, in the end, by adapting and just kind of going with it, I got an even bigger reward than I thought I would have going in, and that involved making a mistake, adapting, and meeting up with my husband. More than anything, the trail has taught me that I am resilient, powerful, and capable in any environment. In moments of struggle, there is clarity. However difficult something might be in the moment, I've learned to put my head down and lean into the wind. It's always darkest before the dawn, and the nights are hard and cold, but the sun will come up. This magical, historical trail continues to provide and give. In 1925, the trail was the critical lifeline for the people of Nome, Alaska, delivering the life-saving serum they needed to survive an epidemic. I didn't realize it at the time, but in this isolated, distant terrain, I was learning how to survive on and off the bike. and the trail was my teacher.